Hello, my friend. Tim with Alpha Wolf Trading coming at you with 5 and 5 stocks to watch for November 13th through the 17th. And before I get rolling into the stocks to watch, I just want to thank all the veterans, families, and those that have served in the past, those that are serving now. Um, Thank you so much for everything that you do. All right, so the markets are in an interesting spot. This tax reform thing, if it doesn't go through, could create some problems in the market. We still have another big week of earnings ahead. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of really good looking setups out there. So, pretty excited about this upcoming week. I'm just going to go over the 5 and 5, a little something for everybody. Stocks to trade and invest. Um, and let's just get right into it. All right. Have a fantastic weekend. If you like what I do here, come check us out over at alphawolftrading.com. All right, let's get rolling here. Okay, so I would be remiss if I did not bring up EKSO. So, I actually put out an article on Seeking Alpha back in September on EKSO, and I wrote up the same article for the blog over at alphawolftrading.com. And I really like this company. I have traded in and out of this company many, many times over the years. I think it's a feel-good story. I think they have three very addressable, large markets that they can go after, and got a big spike on Friday off of a news report that they're being tested out in the Ford factory. I believe they're also being tested out either in BMW or is it either BMW or Mercedes, one of the two factory, and I'm pretty sure Toyota as well. So, it's not just Ford, and I think this is a early stage company that you have to be somewhat careful with, right? Because it is a small float. They just did a rights offering that priced at $1. I did participate in that. I swing trade this stock. I day trade this stock, and I invest in this stock. I always have a core position in EKSO. So for Monday, I mean, this thing kept running a little bit after the market closed on Friday. I actually sold a few shares into that run after market because it just had a really big move in a very short period of time here. So I took a little profit, but I still look for this potentially as this story starts to pick up some momentum. I look for this maybe to continue to go. I think we could get a test up into the 200-day moving average somewhere in that area. So, especially the way some of these low floaters have been running lately. So this could get a little crazy. Maybe look for a red to green move here on this one. If it really gaps up, into the $2 range or whatever, I think you probably got to wait until you find some kind of an intraday setup. But this is definitely one to keep an eye on. And look, if it pulls back to the dollar area, I can tell you right now, if it pulls back to that area, I likely will be loading the boat on that. So right now we've got some support in that area. Like if it breaks below $1, it could get ugly for a little bit. But this is a long-term play for me, and one I think you should keep an eye on. ASUR. These guys have earnings, and I believe they have earnings on Monday. Actually, let me look it up right now. And this is not going to be a 5 and 5 video, unfortunately, because I'm just taking too long already. So let's see here. ASUR. They report before the open on Monday, and it's got a pretty good looking setup on the daily. Had a little pop with some volume. Stochastics curling up on Friday, coming up into this trend line. So we were at some price resistance, and then we have the 200-day moving average just above at $12. I love round number rolls, $12 holla. What I'm looking for. We may see a gap up if they report good earnings. If they do not report good earnings, the area that has been acting as price support is in the $10 range. If they break below 10, then we have to look for another area of potential support. But this has kind of got an interesting look. We'll see how these earnings come in. Small float, 6.8 million shares in the float, 22% short interest. So if they come in, they beat, and they raise for the next quarter, they give good guidance, this thing could get fun and definitely worth having on your radar. The penny play of the week, URG. Uranium names last week started to get some pretty good action. So we'll see if that action continues. Why do I like this one? Well, had pretty good volume. Now this is a little bit thicker, 124 million shares in float. There's not a big short interest there. But what I like about this is it closed above the 200-day. Quiet. Closed above the 200-day moving average. He always gets the last word. Buddy, stop. All right, so it closed above the 200-day. Now it has had 2 days of a move, so you don't want to really go chasing this thing. But on a pullback, and I did not check to see when they have earnings, so make sure you check that out. But a pullback to 60 cents or so, maybe that holds as support for a bounce. If uranium plays continue to move, this one could participate. And let me just see here. See if okay, releases 2017. They already reported earnings, so earnings are behind them. All right, so earnings are behind them. So if that sector continues to run, this one could be the penny play for the week. So keep an eye on URG, WB, WUBA. These guys report Monday also. That is a beautiful looking potential flat top breakout. Take out $70 holla and we could be on to something here, right? So let me take a look at the weekly time frame. I like to back out. This is a big spot that we're trying to get through. Look, back here we tested it and we failed. We tested it and we failed. Difference here, we've been consolidating in this area for weeks, okay? So this could be a pretty explosive move to the upside. Here's the other thing. Singles Day this weekend, 25 billion. Are you kidding me? All right, so JD, WUBA, Bizun, there's another one, Bitsy, I think. There's so many that could move off of this news. Baba is an obvious one. We're going to look at that in a second. Oh no, we're not. Yeah, we are. We're going to look at that in a second. But WUBA, it's got a beautiful look, man. Beautiful look on the daily. If it breaks through that $70, your next area of price resistance actually is probably going to be around 74 and change, and then potentially go up and test that 82 mark. But pretty hot looking daily on WUBA. All right, GE. Let's just talk about it. Now, I've been watching GE, looking for a long-term hold play in this. It's formed a bear flag on the daily. It's not looking all that encouraging. If this thing breaks below 1950, there is potential that we could come all the way back, and let's just move this out to the monthly time frame. We could come down into the $17 range, where we've got some potential price support there. I mean, it could happen, right? Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. It may have found its bottom, but it has its investors day on Monday. They cut the dividend. Anybody that likes the dividend is in the play for the dividend is likely not going to be very happy, and that could create a sell-off in the stock. I do believe, however, that if there's a significant amount of volume on that sell-off and you get a flush candle, and by the end of the day that candle reverses and you close in the upper portion of the candle, even if you close in the red, you close up in the upper portion of the candle, that could be the flush, and that could be the time to take this for a long-term hold position. 8.7 billion shares in the float. This is not a stock that could it have a lot of range and you day trade it? Possibly, it could. But this is more of an investment, right? This is more of an investment, and if you believe in this new CEO and he can turn this company around, then over time this will be a good investment. But guess what? It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. So, if you can get this thing on a flush, it gets down into the teens, low teens, high teens. You look for that candle where you get a reversal on the day, closing the upper portion of the candle. I think that's a good time to get into GE. BABA. Let's talk about BABA. Lower left, upper right, beautiful chart on the daily time frame. Valuation wise, not nearly as expensive as Amazon, and they blew out the numbers. $25 billion. It's got, this thing is going to gap, right? So this could be a long-term hold investment, could be a swing trade, but don't chase the gap. Look for some kind of a setup to get involved, a pullback to support, price support, moving average support, something to that effect. If you can't play BABA, if you can't catch BABA, then look for, like I said, BZUN or BSTI or, JD.com. JD also is reporting on Monday, so that could be another one. But that's it. I'm not giving you any more. This is only supposed to be 5 and 5. All right. If you like what I do here, come check us out over at alphawolftrading.com. Have a fantastic Sunday or Saturday weekend. Thank you to all the veterans out there and their families for the sacrifices they make for our freedom. And that's it. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see y'all next week.